Oh, yeah, we got cookies again, and we've got our eggnog again. And welcome back, friends. Part two. This episode is titled Present. If you haven't seen part one of this holiday series, I encourage you to pause here, go back, watch that. If you already watched it, welcome. Glad to have you back. If this is your first time here at the channel, welcome. I'm glad. I'm Todd, your personal workplace safety specialist. And I'm glad you found me today. Of all the different things you could be doing during the holiday season, taking the time to cheese things up a little bit with some holiday wishes, maybe you'll put a smile on your face. And that's the intention. Maybe make you think about things a little bit, and that's okay too. What do we have on my kitchen table? A mess, an organized mess. And that's what the present today really is. It describes my present in more ways than one. An organized, chaotic mess. And if you are a returning guest, welcome, friend. Glad to have you back. Last time we were here, we opened up a jar, which represents you. We filled it with rocks because we talked about remembering. The first part of the R.O.C.K.S philosophy, safety rocks, R.O.C.K.S, remember our commitment to keep safe. And remembering allows us to look back on things that have happened within our own lives or in past history. From a compliance standpoint, we don't want to make those same mistakes again. Accidents are expensive, injuries, accidents, fatalities, uh, costs that could go towards a profitable company's bottom line instead go towards litigation and fines and penalties and all that jazz. So to visualize the R.O.C.K.S philosophy, R.O.C.K.S, and the first part being remembering, I took a jar and I filled it with big rocks, symbolizing those big moments in your life. Things you can't forget. They're part of you, from memories or situations, good, bad, or otherwise. It's all part of who we are that make us up. And if this jar is us, I couldn't fill it with one more rock. It's filled to the brim. So we're going to touch base on that a little bit later in part two of the R.O.C.K.S philosophy, the O.C., our commitment. First part was the past. The middle part today is the present. Hence the theme for today. Don't forget, there's a madness to my method. We're also going to have some fun building. But speaking of present, I would like to take a sip of eggnog and share a story with you. Oh, that's good. We do have a variety of cookies today, too. I think those are oatmeal, raisin, and chocolate chip, and of course, sugar cookies. Delicious. I'd like to start with a present that came in the mail yesterday. It was addressed to me, and there was no name on it. I don't know who sent this. There was no gift card. There was no acknowledgement. So if you sent this, thank you very much. It's very kind of you. And while I already do have a pasta pot, um, there is a very nice pasta pot with lid in here, along with, I believe, some type of kitchen utensil. But whoever sent this, thank you. I'm not sure who to thank, But maybe that was the point. And if we're looking at Christmas through different eyes and different perspectives, maybe it's not important as to who or what, but the thought, the idea of giving. Giving without getting. And there was a company I worked for one time that had one of their themes was give to get. And to me, that seems kind of oxymoronic because when we give of ourselves, we shouldn't expect getting something back. Yes, from a business standpoint, you want to be profitable, you want to add to your bottom line by getting. And so you give a little bit. Maybe you give a discount to a well worthy customer, or maybe you give something to a team member and you want to get something in return. But when it comes to people and personal nature, give to not get. I don't know. Maybe I'm waxing a little too philosophic. So thank you to whoever sent that. And if you happen to know who did, let me know because I do believe in sending thank you cards and have done so in presents past. Another present is something I do every year, which is ornaments. And last episode, I showed some of the wooden ornaments. And I want to finish up that theme. Now, certainly, I'm not going to show every single one, but some of the wooden ornaments that I have made and handed out were related to a theme. For instance, turning 40, I did a pirate flag, and the theme was a pirate looks at 40, a kind of a play off of a Jimmy Buffett tune. This is an apple, a glitter apple, and I was a teacher. In my, gosh, I've been working since I was 13. So if I'm, let's see, 56 minus 3, 53, 43, 33, 23, 13. So 43 years I've been working. And I've been a caddy, I've been a DJ, I've been a driver, I've done a lot of jobs, rock climbing, skydiving, but teaching. And more specifically, the more gratifying has been substitute teaching. So there was a time when that was a theme, and I made little apples, and I gave those to teachers that I had worked with that year. Another one, going back to that Florida theme, was a seahorse. And I don't know if I named this one particularly. Nope, it just has Christmas 2014. And so there's a seahorse kind of blinged out there. And then there was the snowflake phase. And I've done a few different types of snowflakes, but this one was, again, you have bling that you purchase for one craft, then you should use it instead of throwing stuff away. So there's a decorative snowflake. Then we got into the clay phase. And I thought, all right, I've had years and years and years of doing things out of wood or other media. I'm going to try oven baked clay. And this particular year, let's see, this is 2016. I actually used a little stylus and I tried to write in the back in clay the year, but it's a pizza slice because I was driving pizzas at the time. And I tried to use different colored clay to represent the cheese and pepperoni and black olives and green olives and the crust, stuffed crust. So there's a pizza slice that I had fashioned and made and handed out to not only family and friends, but people I worked with. And we were looking at probably, I don't know, 40, 50, maybe 60. At one time, I think I had up to 80, maybe 120 ornaments. This one was stocking. And I tried doing a tie-dye look to it. And I don't know if you can see all that well, but the two different types of red is a light red and a dark red. And I tried swirling them together with the, see, this is 2017. Huh. So the stocking was a cookie cutter, and then I just went a little crazy with the clay, and I had a lot of fun doing it. There's something about making something with your hands, and I know it's cheesy, but again, it's the thought that counts, and not wanting anything in return, but just showing some gratitude, some affirmation, or appreciation to others from a job well done. This one carried on with the tie-dye theme, but I goofed up with the clay. And it's a Christmas tree, but it ended up being kind of an oozy green and brown blob. But hey, that's what trial and error is for, right? You try something and maybe you don't always work, but you practice, and after a few dozen, you get the hang of it. So those were some of the ornaments that I've done over the years as a present, and it's been fun. How about a cookie? How about a cookie? Mm. No, not a dunk. Mm. So good. All right, so we're going to finish up this particular set, Lego set, and there's a little snowman on a bench and a quasi ice rink. But what's neat is there's a little squirrel, and there's a piece, a little one by round piece that is an acorn, a printed piece. First time I'd seen that, and pretty cool to have a squirrel looking for acorn. Let's see, we have a couple of pieces here and there. Let's see, does that fit on top of there? It certainly does. We're going to put some holly on this lamp post. Hello, lamp post. What you knowin'? I like to watch your flowers growing. Okay, clear tumbler piece. Where did you roll off to? Oh, this was something I was going to do, the top 10 gifts that the three wise men didn't give, didn't bring with them. They forgot at home. But after thinking about it, I think we'll retire that idea. Put that in the pocket. I thought it was funny. But after a while, sometimes what one thinks is humorous may not be. So where did that lamp piece roll off to? Well, that's interesting. Maybe it will turn up at some point during the build. But we'll set this aside and get to some of our characters. We're going to do a cool theme. Do you ever have your picture taken for the holidays and you think, oh my gosh, I've got to do this again? So these are some backdrops. And my friends over in the UK at minifigs.me have created these custom printed backdrops, which are pretty cool. Different ones that you can set your minifigs on. Let's see. Yep, there's stockings. There is a dinner table. Let's see what else we have here. Some extra piece. There was a third one. Is this the snowman? Yes, it is. So if you want to use your crab claw on your phone to zoom in, you can see some of these backdrops in a little closer detail. We also have the TARDIS. I was watching the Doctor Who Christmas episodes yesterday, and over the years, the show has done a remarkable job in telling various holiday stories with the characters in different situations and themes. And many people don't get or understand Doctor Who, and that's okay. Some people don't get or understand Christmas, and that's okay too. And when you put it all together, it doesn't matter if you understand it or not, it's entertainment, and it's good entertainment. So we have here one of the doctors carrying his sonic screwdriver. And a character that I guess just really enjoyed from time to time was River Song. And she was a important part of the Doctor and the adventures that the Doctor had. So in my representation of my own version of River Song, I created this minifigure to accompany the Doctor on his travels through space and time with a holiday themed police box. TARDIS. All right, let's see what else we have here. Oh, how about Lord Stanley, the Stanley Cup? Wintertime is a season of hockey. And in many cultures, in many countries, in many parts of the world, hockey is a fun sport to watch. It is athletic. And I have a character here who is number 24. 21. I'm sorry, number 21. That number's retired, and it was Stan Mikita's number for the Chicago Blackhawks. So I have a character minifig here representing Stan Mikita. And he's got his hockey helmet. And we'll have him carry the Stanley Cup. Have you ever seen it? The Stanley Cup? Have you seen it up close and personal? It is pretty cool. I have, and it is awesome. As a fan of Chicago sports, the Blackhawks, the Chicago Blackhawks, are near and dear to my heart, and they have hoisted the Stanley Cup from time to time, as have other teams. And the other city I lived in was Tampa. And if we have any Tampa Ray Lightning, Tampa Bay Lightning hockey team, hello to you. And why? Oh my gosh. This is why. Sometimes you just need an extra set of hands. There we go. So let's see. We need to put the bowl on top of the cup. Rough eye day today, so I apologize if I'm stumbling through this like a madman. There we go. So now we can put the bowl on top of the trophy. That's what it started out as. Like, take your grandmother's salad bowl, sterling silver, and make a trophy out of it. What are you doing with my prized sterling silver salad bowl? Oh, Grandma, don't worry. We're going to make a trophy out of it. It's like almost a last minute thought. It's like, oh, we need a trophy for this hockey championship. Stanley has got his grandmother's salad bowl. So let's use that. And then every year we'll just add to it. And we'll let each player take it for a day and they can do with it what they want. Some of the stories of what those hockey players do when they take ownership. The cup even made it to my college, St. Mary's in Winona, Minnesota. So there is Stan Mikita with the Stanley Cup. One of the executives of the Chicago Blackhawks was an alumni and brought the cup to campus. Here's a small college in the middle of nowhere along the Mississippi. 1,200 students, 1,300 students, and the cup made it to a little college in Minnesota. Oh, there's our lantern. There we go. We can finish this. And we'll put this on top here. And then we'll set this in the corner with our. Now, who should we have ice skating? We could have an ice skating hockey player, but I think we should have a boxer. This boxer isn't just any boxer. Louisville, Kentucky, he called home. And it is none other than Muhammad Ali. Our airport is named in his honor. So we'll have him on the rink here. Who should join him? Who would be a good character to join? How about the character Jeff Bridges played in The Big Lebowski, otherwise known as the Dude? So let's see here. Actually, I think we're going to give him his own little stand because the Dude also has his concoctions for White Russians. So we don't want that to go to waste. A little milk, a little Kahlua. Where's our Kahlua? I just saw it earlier. Rolling. Well, it'll turn up. So there's Jeff. And let's see, how about, Star Trek. I do like this minifigure torso. It has the Enterprise on it as a Christmas sweater. So we'll put this character on the ice rink. We'll give them a red beret because we all know, well, not we all, those of us who are familiar with Star Trek lore are familiar with the red shirts. On the original series, the red shirts didn't last too long on away missions. It kind of became a running joke that the red shirts going down to a planet weren't quite going to make it. So there is our scene that we have a snowman, we have a bench, we have Muhammad Ali, we have one of the red shirt. And then what makes it neat is you can make them spin or skate on the ice. How does he do that? That's amazing. So there's a little engineering marvel. Some fun. So not just a display, but a moving display. Oh, it's moving. It's so moving. Let's keep going on our builds here. This one has a funky Christmas torso. Looks almost like pajamas. What did I have put on here? I had the cheer is here. Again, like a Christmas sweater. We'll put a frozen face on there. And a cap. Let's see, what's another one? We use one of our displays for this one has dinosaurs. So this Christmas sweater, or if you're from the another country that calls it a jumper, a Christmas jumper, I like to have the smiley faces out instead of the frowny faces. So a Christmas jumper or sweater, depending on what part of the world. And is this the snowman? Yes, there we go. So we'll set him right there. And what's another one here? This one, oh, this is part of our Big Lebowski. Where did he go? The dude. There's he go, and we got the head here. With the traditional glasses and beard. And hair. I think we'll save your stand. We're going to put you with the fireplace. There we go. Nice. One more minifigure. What's one this one? Oh, this is your traditional snowflakes and reindeer Christmas sweater. Jumper. There's a smiley face. Some of these heads are dual sides that show two different faces, but I'm going to do the smiley face. And I don't know if that would be bedhead, but it certainly is funky looking. I've woke up with hair like that, just a little bit out of whack. We have some backdrops, some clever, colorful backdrops for our minifigures. Extra pieces, and that's the kitchen table one. We'll save that for the Winter Village, which I'll show the big reveal in a future episode. So what about the present makes the Safety Rocks philosophy so unique? Well, of course, we touched on presents or gifts, but the present, as in today, is also a gift. When you wake up to start the day, there's a million things, a million little tiny things that you do without even knowing it. In a workplace safety perspective, if one of those things goes sideways or pear-shaped, it could throw your day off. It could lead to an accident. It could be expensive, and it can also be a learning opportunity to grow. So part of what I do as a safety consultant is help companies understand why preventing accidents is a good thing, saving them tens, hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars that really should go towards the company's bottom line, help grow. But an accident happens because somebody somewhere decided to do their own thing, to not obey the rules, to skip steps, to cut corners, to say, you know what? I don't need the rules. I know what I'm doing. I've done this all the time. And in the millions of tiny little activities that go throughout your day, from the small to the tall, from brushing your teeth, driving your car, going into work, clocking in, checking on what you're supposed to do, distractions could come along at any time. And if we're not aware, if we're not present in the moment, accidents can happen. So how do you represent in the R.O.C.K.S philosophy a visual dynamic of those lots and lots of little things you do throughout the day that at any one point a distraction could throw things off? We've already talked about the past and remembering the past, those big rocks. But how about we take grains of sand and pour them into our jar that represents us. And all those millions of things we do throughout the day represent little grains of sand. And what is a grain of sand? It's a tiny little rock. It's a teeny tiny little rock. So as we fill up this jar, we fill our day up with all the little things we do today in the present. And if we don't make a commitment, if we don't make a personal commitment, our commitment to making that day count, then a ripple effect happens. If we make a commitment, if we take a stand and say, I am going to make today an accident-free day, I'm going to be conscious of my surroundings, I'm going to pay attention to the rules, the regulations, the policies and procedures. While I know they're a pain in the butt, the alternative of doing my own thing, breaking the rules, goofing around, taking shortcuts, skipping steps, making excuses, it throws the balance off. And as I mentioned before in a previous episode, you throw or toss or skip a rock across a pond, it creates a ripple effect. Those choices that we make, good, bad, indifferent, create ripple effects. And while we are not an island, we work with other people in person or virtually. We're a community. We're a family. You go to the grocery store. Well, now, I have my groceries delivered, so I go online and click what I need, and 24 hours later, there's a knock on my door. But I interact with that driver, unless I choose to have him just leave him at my door. But gosh, if I work from home and I don't have a lot of interaction with other people, sometimes that little bit of interaction can make somebody's day. For instance, my most recent grocery store delivery was a couple that quit their jobs 5 years ago. COVID. They made a decision to quit their jobs and together created a team, a partnership, where they do this business 364 days. They take Christmas Day off. They dropped their groceries off, and we had a conversation in the hallway outside of my apartment. And I got to know them. I was curious. Why are two people showing up on my door? And they shared with me their story of how they decided to do this as a business. And it's not just any business, they are thriving. They have a plan, they have a system, they have a budget, and they work their butts off. And I was so impressed with them that I wanted to make sure that this episode referenced my delivery of groceries and the interaction I had with two very special people. Did I get their names? No. Did they make an impact on me? Yes. Did I make an impact on them? Probably not. I was just another delivery, another order that they picked and delivered. That's what we do as human beings. We interact with each other in some way, shape, or form. Yes, we have good days. Yes, we have bad days. Yes, we have days when we just want to throw our hands up in the air and go, I don't understand all of this. Or why is this happening to me? Is there another way? A pause for self-reflection there. Let's go back to our jar. It's a little bit heavier now that we've added 2 cups, almost 3 cups of sand. Now, if I had filled this jar all the way to the top with sand, there'd be no room for the big rocks. And those big rocks are those memories that make up who we are. If I roll this around and see how the sand interacts with the rocks, I could probably fill it up with another 3/4 cupful of sand. But that is the second part of our commitment of the safety rocks, R.O.C.K.S. Remember the past. Making a conscious effort to make a commitment to the present, which leaves only one more thing, and that's keep safe. That's the KS of the rocks philosophy. Keeping safe. Now, if the big rocks are the past and the sand is the present, KS, keeping safe, could lead to, not going to spoil it for you. You'll have to stay tuned for part 3 to get the rest of this. I'm glad you could join me today. I'm looking forward to sharing that third part of the rocks philosophy, a analogy, a dynamic, a presentation that I have shared hundreds of times with companies and conferences and businesses and luncheons coast to coast for probably 15 years. 2009 is when I came up with that. Yeah, long time. And I'm very proud to have an original idea that has sparked a lot of conversation, a lot of feedback, and something I'm glad to share with you today. Now, I have bits of sand in my fingers, and instead of wiping them on the floor, I'm going to try to put them in the jar, because every little bit of part of that day is important. We have one more section, because it is the holidays, and I do this every year. I have a little Lego nativity set that I like to break out. And normally I do this around December 1st, but I waited. I waited till I was feeling better about building. Let's see. We're looking for 3 specific characters that we're going to start today, and we'll do a special episode on the rest of these. characters, but there are 3 in particular that I'm looking for. And, oop, that's a horse. That's important. Yes. Yes. Got some base plates here. I'll put the horse on a base plate. That way the horse isn't falling over. Alright. That is a camel. Put the camel on a base plate so the camel doesn't fall over. Now, who rides on horses and camels? Could they be very intelligent? Like almost wise in nature? Could be. Could be. Speaking of presents, these 3 are bringing presents. Ah, here's one. And he does not have a present of White Russians. He has a present of gold. And where's number 2? He's got a drum. Save him. Aha. Here's number 2. Present of frankincense. Perfumes and scented oils. What I've done with these 3 is start this Christmas season for me in building them and then moving them around either the apartment or there's a reindeer. I don't know if there was a reindeer in Bethlehem. And is this the last one? It certainly is. He needs a hat. Let's see, where's his helmet? Unless last year, did his helmet break? Nope, didn't. It's right here. So, myrrh. So I would have these 3 moving throughout the apartment. And it really started when my son was, 8? 9? And we were at a local Lego hobby store, Lego themed specific hobby store. And he's like, hey, Dad, we should do like Mary and Joseph. Because they had a section where you can make your own minifigs. I'm like, all right, go for it. So he went to town and came up with a couple of minifigures. It was very clever. Very, very clever. And so then he was like, hey, Dad, we should also do like the shepherd. I'm like, all right, go for it. And so he went to town and made it. And then these wise men came around. And I have, on my dad's side, I have 3 cousins. We'll just use their initials, K, B, and M. So for years, I would kind of superimpose their personalities onto these 3. And I think one year I had them, instead of horses and camels, I had them driving around in like Ferraris. I just used whatever was around the Taj Mahal here. Very funny. But hey, that's just me. How do you entertain yourself? One brick at a time. Well, that wraps it up for today. We've discussed a little bit more of the R.O.C.K.S philosophy, part 2 of the O.C., the Our Commitment. Making a commitment to today in thinking things through, creating an accident-free workplace. We also mirrored that with grains of sand, those little individual things we do every day that make up who we are for that day. And then I shared a little bit of some ornament history. I thanked an anonymous a gift giver for a pasta pot. We built some Lego, had some fun in the process doing that, told a few stories. And that's who we are as human beings. We tell stories. Ever since sitting around a campfire, cultures all over the globe can trace back their ancestors to sitting around campfires thousands of years ago and telling stories. Have we missed a little bit of that with our swiping and FaceTiming? Maybe YouTube, you viewing this today is just taking that campfire to a whole new level. Speaking of which, I'd like to challenge you at some point in the next few days, whether you're by yourself or whether you're with family, turn out the lights and light a single candle and let the glow of that candle reflect upon you and your little world. And just for a moment, meditate or say a prayer, however you choose in your own way. Think about somebody else, somebody who may be down on their luck, someone who might be a little destitute or hard up or in pain or grieving. Because there's a lot of people this time of year that it's not easy to get through this holiday. From the celebrations that we take for granted, sometimes to stop for a moment and reflect on someone else. Not just a general, oh, I want to pray for the needy or I want to pray for the downhearted, but pick some one person. Think of their name and just send up good vibes, good juju, good prayers for healing, for comfort, for peace, for tranquility. And if that one candle can spur 2 or 3 or 4, go for it. So there's my challenge to you on this holiday. Thank you for joining me today. My name's Todd, your personal workplace safety specialist, and this is Are You Safe 2, Part 2 of the 2025 holiday series. So, I think it's time for more eggnog. Shall we? Yes, we shall. Be thankful that I'm not breaking out into song. All right, there's that. There's that. I think we can call this episode a wrap. Shall we? Yes, we shall. Excellent. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.